Hey everyone, it's VM Campos Comic Book Fan. Welcome to another episode of the weekly VM Campos Comic Book Club. This is the series where I review a comic book, new or old, for the following factors: the cover art, interior art, plot, and enjoyability of the book on a scale of 1 to 5. This week I'm reading Wicked Things number 1, published by Boombox in 2020. For the audio version of the podcast, head on over to your favorite podcasting apps, search VM Campos, and subscribe. Now, spoiler alert, you are encouraged to read and buy the book yourself because I will be going to the various pages of this book. I won't reveal the whole plot. But if you're interested in reading it for yourself, head on over to your favorite local comic shops. And with today's pandemic, check out their website, contact them, call them, tell them VM Campos sent you. We still need to support our local comic shops and creators during these trying times. Plus, you'll get some great reading material along the way. Let's get started. Well, everyone, I hope you're practicing social distancing during these times and spending time with those that you love. Comic books. So, my local shops, there's a chain store of them. They're all pretty much closed except the main shop. And so they're still open and curbside pickup and that sort of thing. But no new books are out for this particular week. It's pretty crazy. Diamond Publishers, Diamond Distribution, whatever their official name is, has suspended all physical copies of books to be published. So there's digital books. Now, this book that I'm reviewing this week, I picked it up 2 weeks ago when my local branch called me up frantically and saying the whole mall is closing, everyone needs to come in and get their books because we don't know when we're going to open again. So I did go in and get my usual books. Now I also took a quick look at the new issues shelves and I found this, Wicked Things. So that's what I'm reading this week, even though there are no new comics, especially individual issues out. The show must go on, and I still have books to read. So let's get started. Now, first of all, a little bit of the background info as usual. I don't have any background info. I don't know anything about this book. I didn't know anything about this book when I saw it on the shelves. I thought the cover looked pretty cool. I'm judging a book by its cover, and I thought it was interesting, so I said, yeah, I'll get it. It's eye-catching enough in this cover. So I went ahead and bought it. After reading it, I kind of know now a little bit that it's part of the Giant Days, the world of Giant Days, which also I didn't read. So maybe I'll check that out because I enjoyed the book overall. Spoiler alert. So yeah, that's a little bit about the background info. It's just basically something that was on the shelves and I thought it looked interesting cover and I picked it up. So that's easy. All right, the cover. This is the variant cover, cover B, the second cover. This is by John Allison, who is the writer of the book, but he also did the cover. The regular artist is Saren. But I got the variant cover. I guess this one spoke to me a little bit more. I think it's an enjoyable cover. I like that these characters are very cartoony, kind of angular. We'll meet who they are inside, of course, if you don't know who they are. And they're at some sort of elegant get-together or something, tinkling glasses of champagne, and then a kind of an interesting, very basic orange cover, plus their logo. It's all like curvy, but with a block serif, sans serif font, Wicked Things. It's kind of cool. It's I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's like very mysterious, like, what's this about? Wicked Things? I have no idea. And they've got a couple of wicked expressions, so it caught my attention, like I said. It's stark colors compared to other comic books. It's very sort of cartoony, interesting graphic design choices in this, and I think it worked for me, so I picked it up. 4 out of 5. Interior art is by Max Saren. They did the regular cover A, and this interior art is in that same sort of cartoony vein of the cover, but way more cute cartoony. I really enjoy it. Again, I'm a sucker for this style of art. It's very expressive. I love some of these expressions from the ladies, from all of the characters. Each particular character seems to be like a real person, and it all is because of the expressions and their posing and clothing, and it's just great. I'm really enjoying this art. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5. The scenery is created well. Again, the expressions are expertly done. The panel layout has a variety of styles in terms of, are there little panels to focus on action, are there large panels to set a scene, close-ups of expressions can be really nice. And I feel I've seen this sort of style of art before, perhaps subconsciously when I go to the comic shops. There's a lot of great detail, even though it's a cartoony sort of book. There's a particular shot when the main character, Lottie, is completely embarrassed at what just happened at the restaurant, and she's kind of walking away. There's 3 instances of her on the panel, which is a great comic convention that you can't do in other media. Her expression as she is completely humiliated and leaves the restaurant is perfect. A lot of great detail. There's a shot of a variety of coffee devices. There's that one Italian coffee maker, whatever that thing is called. I forget what it's called. But these expressions, I just love them. They're just so good. This is a 5 out of 5 of interior art. It's juvenile, but not in a negative way. I think it works still very well to create realistic characters that are actually very cartoony. The plot. Okay, well, once again, like I said, the writer is John Allison, created and written by John Allison. It's about newly 18-year-old friends Lottie and Claire. They live in England, and they're going off to university. But again, I don't know any previous backstory. I don't know if there was any previous backstory, but just what I get from actually reading the book, they are teen detectives. They solve crimes. They're best friends. They're gonna go off to move to different places in their university times, and they have one more sleuthing adventure that comes in by the end of the plot. But the beginning of the plot is Lottie was nominated for an award in National Solver magazine, 18 under 18. So she got nominated for it, and she's kind of incredulous about it because she feels underappreciated. And so Claire and Lottie take the train over to the Savoy, and they're going to be awarded. Now they meet some other teen detectives with various levels of success and snootiness, and then Lottie meets one of her heroes, Kendo Miyamoto. There's a cultural misunderstanding on purpose, which leads to something else, and then the plot keeps going. So it's about friendship, it's about sleuthing, like in the vein of Nancy Drew and such. It's about friends having one more hangout together before life changes. And then a big mystery, a big thing that happens that changes their plans. That's where I won't reveal it. But I enjoyed the plot. I give that a 4 out of 5 as well. I liked the world that they created. I liked the characters they're writing. I think the way that they talk to each other is very realistic, on point with these types of characters. I thought it was enjoyable. I get a sense of each of the characters, how they are, in a very short amount of time, and again with no backstory on my part. So I thought it was enjoyable. The plot is a 4 out of 5. The enjoyability of the book then is also a 4 out of 5. Again, I liked the world, I liked the art, I liked the colorization. The colorization is also very nice. That one is done by Whitney Kogar and lettering by Jim Campbell. So the colorization is also nice. It's very subtle. There's enough gradients here and there to give the sense of depth. It's a little bit of cell shading and that sort of thing, and pleasant colors all throughout. There's some like fun background things here and there, like they have Maria Bamford, Old Baby, so they're obviously a fan of Maria Bamford. That's pretty cool. Everyone should be. Oh, I just noticed a little doggy at the beginning of the plot as well that doesn't really show up anywhere else, but it's just a little doggo there with its tongue out back at Lottie's room, like it was very messy and such. So yep, very enjoyable plot. I can't wait to see the next issues. Again, hopefully in this pandemic we're still able to get our comics in one way or another. Here's hoping. Conclusion. I recommend the book if you're interested in like this genre of humor, of realistic characters with a little tinge of something extra. I do recommend it. Detectives, young detectives that are sleuthing and trying to find mysteries, trying to figure out mysteries. Well, if you like Scooby-Doo, if you like Sherlock Holmes, etc., Nancy Drew, that sort of thing, I think you'll like the book. I think you'll like the art. It's humorous. It's not juvenile. If you want something different than the usual superhero fare, there's plenty of comics out there that will soothe the savage beast. So definitely check this out. I recommend it. I've been enjoying the comic so far. So once again, if you'd like to subscribe to the audio-only version of the podcast, head on over to your favorite podcasting apps, Pandora, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, etc. Search for VM Campos and subscribe. Consider going to the Patreon, patreon.com/VMCampos. You'll get access to exclusive content at the $1 tier. At the $2 tier, I'll actually mail you a comic book in appreciation. Or you can simply follow for free on Patreon. I appreciate that as well. You'll be alerted to all of the things that I do regarding comic books. My end-of-the-month comic haul and giveaway, be alerted to that. My weekly comic book club, keep up to date with new or old comics. My top list videos, where you'll be in the know of the top 5 things of importance in the world of comics. And my San Diego Comic-Con videos. Those music videos are pretty popular. Or simply follow for free. I appreciate that as well. In any event, don't forget to like, subscribe, thumbs up, share, or leave a review of my review. You can be very meta. Had you heard of this book before? What do you think about my review of it? Would it be something that you would read? Tell me all about it. I'd love to hear. So this week I read Wicked Things, #1, from Boombox, published in 2020. This has been the weekly VM Campos Comic Book Club, and I'll see you next week.